to put the spotlight on what's happening at Zaggle. Avinash Godkhindi, the co-promoter as well as MD and CEO, joins us on the show right now. Avinash, hi, good to be speaking with you. Thanks so much for making time and speaking with us. I understand this latest agreement that you've signed with ONDC. How big could it really be for you? What kind of partnership is this? Could you throw some more light on this?
Good morning, and thank you for having me. This could be a fairly large, pretty large one actually, because if you look at the push on ONDC as a platform, it's massive, right? And we've seen that platforms like UPI, ONDC, they take their time, but once they sort of mature and become popular, the scale that they can reach is mind-boggling. And ONDC is today where UPI was, in the first year or couple of years of its inception. And obviously, once you have a commerce platform, you need an instrument to transact. And that's where we come in with our payment instruments.
Okay, just help us with a few more numbers, Avinash. I understand that the potential is huge and it's difficult to put a number, but what's the total addressable market, or at least to begin with, for the next couple of years? What kind of revenue potential do you see from this?
See, in terms of transaction volume, this runs into potentially 4 to 5 digit thousand crores, right? So it could be thousands of crores and tens of thousands of crores eventually over all the volume that gets transacted on merchants which are registered on ONDC. Obviously there's an opportunity to capture a significant part of it. Mind you, there's also a lot of institutional push from the government and public sector undertakings, and we anticipate that a significant amount of the gifting that happens in the festival season and otherwise overall in these organizations for their employees and other stakeholders would start coming through the gift card onto the ONDC platform, right? And that itself is running into hundreds of crores.
So hundreds of crores could be the transaction potential, but what does it do to your overall guidance? You talked about 45 to 55% growth in FY25. Does it get a further leg up because of this? Likely to do above 50 at least now?
I wouldn't want to, say that right now. As we said, we are tempted to give a upward guidance, but we would revise, look to possibly revise our guidance at the end of Q2. But yes, these sort of programs, they take time to fructify. It takes a few quarters. But once they start to kick in, and I would highlight the example of Zoya. We spent the entire 2022 and a good part of 2023 building on Zoya, and today it's a very significant part of our revenues. Almost 35-40% of our transactions that happen overall are Zoya transactions. So you can see that in this space of spend management, these programs take a little bit while to start generating revenue, but when they do it in a very big way.
Order, when do you expect the revenue accretion to happen? The ONDC one, Q3, Q4?
Hopefully, we're hoping to tap into the festive season, the Diwali New Year season, and if all goes well, we should be able to take the product live around that time. I'm not saying this would be the first year for the product, so I'm not saying that this would be the bumper year, but hopefully we should see the product see the light of the day and get launched around Diwali.
Let's say setting up a partnership with ONDC. Do you have to invest a lot in platform building? Can I say this is like you have to invest upfront and the benefit comes later on? How does the mechanics in terms of investment work?
Yeah, Nikunj, some investment is required, right? Because ultimately, why would a Zaggle kind of an entity succeed in making this prepaid program a success? So let's look at that. One, we are specialists in the prepaid space. We're one of the largest, if not the largest, in the prepaid space. So we understand this market. We understand how the stakeholders work. The second is what you said. We invest upfront. We invest in terms of time, effort, people. But that investment is not, it's not like a capex investment. It's a lot about people and bandwidth. and time and mind share. And once you do that, you start to see the results.
But the entire prepaid model in a platform like ONDC, I'm just intrigued to understand. Cash on delivery. I don't know how will it work on ONDC. Is the customer ready for a prepaid Zaggle kind of an experience, that ecosystem?
Absolutely,
Your smile is telling me
if you look at-
something. We both are smiling on that question.
No, the reason why I'm smiling is this is such a beautiful question, right? And it's hitting the nail on the head. And the reason why I'm smiling is look at how UPI has taken off. We all wondered, would the Indian consumer cope with it? But the Indian or the Bharatiya consumer is very smart. We are very very astute consumers and people, and if it is of value to them, they would just go ahead and lap it up, right? Similarly, if you look at platforms like Flipkart, Amazon, a very significant part of their sale comes from their gift card, right? And these are e-commerce platforms. Large volumes of transactions happen there. And an ONDC gift card basically serves a very similar purpose. Only thing that's different is that, instead of an Amazon platform or a Flipkart platform, you're basically opening it up and people can choose to go to multiple platforms, where a buyer can go and open the ONDC store and use the card to transact and buy from any merchant who's listed on ONDC.
So, last question. When Zaggle went public, it was like a proposition that, okay, more and more corporates come on board, this whole experience of prepaid points, that is something which was growing. I now want to understand, it's been what, almost 2 years you've gone public?
It's a little less than a year, last September.
Sorry, it's almost a year, Diwali, I remember, closer to Diwali,
Last September, yeah.
What has been the breadth of corporate acquisitions which you've done? Have you gone beyond, let's say, tier 1, tier 2 cities? I mean, the India which we are talking about is throbbing in small towns, small cities. Have you managed to get some of those corporates on board?
So, Nikunj, what we've done is we've added a lot of users from those, PIN codes. We've not necessarily focused on corporates, but if you look at corporates, in the large corporates and enterprises in mid-market, they tend to have reach with users in these zip codes, right? So they have vendors who are supplying to them goods from far-flung. They have channel partners who are selling their products in interiors, right? And we've now got a tremendous penetration. We always had very good penetration, and now that has improved very significantly. Our penetration in public sector banks and public sector undertakings has gone up a lot. Again, that inherently takes you to Bharat beyond the India that we live in. So our penetration has been where we've ridden into the hinterlands of Bharat on the back of our large enterprises and bank partners.
So let's wrap it up with one simple question. It's not Google, but there is a real AI disruption which is happening. How realistic is this AI disruption for your business? Not in terms of the service, but purely in terms of efficiency, productivity. What changes for you?
So, Nikunj, the way we look at AI is it's like electricity or internet, right? For those who are selling software services, traditional software services or IT services, it could mean that there could be pressure. For us, this is a great tool. This is a tool which we can use to do things much better, much faster, in a much more creative way for our customers. And even very serious things like detecting fraud, the performance gets enhanced dramatically. So our fraud detection tool, for example, performance has become much better with the AI tools that we're using. So it's something that I think is going to propel our business and businesses like us, leaps and bounds.
Okay, thanks so much for that, Avinash, for joining us today. Appreciate your time.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.